So funny story. I was going to release a video yesterday, a legal update video, kind of rounding up the said updates from last week. For anyone who may have missed it and wanted a very quick recap. About a 6-minute video, pretty brief. Well, I ended up releasing that Crow video yesterday instead because that was literally breaking news. A recap is still pretty important, but it's not necessarily breaking news because it's a recap, obviously. So it kind of worked out because we actually have an update with Funimation's motion to dismiss the suit via TCPA, which was one big theory that was going on, and I will discuss that more in the video I already recorded. So here's how it's going to go down. I'll have the Funimation motion to dismiss under the TCPA document discussion right now, and then after that I'll roll the intro, and we'll have the recap for anyone who wants the recap. So we're going to read the part 1, introduction and summary of motion. I'm not going to get into too much detail about this here, though, because we do talk a lot about TCPA in the rest of the video. But this one reads, the Texas legislature enacted the Texas Citizens Participation Act, TCPA, to encourage and safeguard the constitutional rights of persons to speak freely and associate freely. Texas Civil Practice and Remedies Code 27.002. Ooh, that's a good one. 02 right there. Numerous courts have noted the TCPA is designed to stop retaliatory lawsuits that are designed to squelch free speech, precisely what is occurring in this dispute. That's the debatable part. We'll see about that. Is that really what's occurring here, or is there actual defamation? We'll see. Applying the TCPA, the court should dismiss plaintiff Victor Mignana's lawsuit against defendant Funimation Production, LLC, because Funimation's February 11, 2019 tweets about its decision to terminate its working relationship with Vic were clearly an exercise of Funimation's right of free speech and right of association. As explained below, Funimation published the tweets in response to widespread public outcry about allegations that Vic, a well-known voice actor, they always love to add that part in, a well-known voice actor, really working towards that public figure motion, or notion rather, not motion, notion, anyways, had engaged in inappropriate conduct with its fans and his coworkers. Because Funimation's tweets were truthful and non-defamatory, Vic's tort claims against Funimation fail as a matter of law. Furthermore, Funimation cannot be held vicariously liable for any alleged tortious conduct of its co-defendants, Monica Real, Ron Toy, and Jamie Markey. Quick recap on that. I'm sure you guys all remember, but just in case, the vicarious liability is what was linking Monica, Ron, and Markey to Funimation, and basically allowing Vic to go after Funimation as well, or his counsel to go after them. Because they are not Funimation's agents or employees. I guess they're trying to allege, contracted. It doesn't make them actual agents or employees, maybe. For these reasons, and for the additional reasons set out below, the court should dismiss Vic's claims against Funimation and award Funimation its attorney's fees pursuant to the TCPA. So they're definitely hoping that's the case. Now, here's the interesting thing. If Funimation actually does get removed from this lawsuit, the TCPA dismisses it from Funimation's end. Well, they still got Monica, Ron, and Markey that are involved, as far as I understand. So it wouldn't be good for them. It would be really bad. Funimation's the big player in that suit. If they are gone and it's just Vic versus Markey and Toye and Real, that would be really interesting, especially because there was that joint liability, right? So I don't think that the defendants really want this TCPA to pass for Funimation, but I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. Just a little speculation. So keep in mind that Funimation TCPA motion to dismiss document is 168 pages. 168 pages that we don't have time to read. Well, at least I don't, but I'll leave the link in the description if you guys want to read the whole thing yourself. But the important summary is exactly that, what the TCPA is, what Funimation has to gain from trying to, successfully file that motion, and what the defendants might have to lose if Funimation actually ends up getting released from this litigation. But there's 2 more things I want to mention before we move on from the TCPA stuff here, the new filing rather, and that is the notice of litigation hold, which is really interesting. Apparently, a number of people have been asked to preserve documents relevant to the dispute. Those people are some, including Ricada, Vic's mother, Chuck Huber, Chris Latosh from KameyaCon, and a few other people who I'd rather not name because I haven't really talked about them on this channel. And some of them I'm very surprised that they are actually being asked to preserve information, preserve documents. Now, that doesn't mean that they are going to be served. But it, of course, is a bit of a scare tactic. It's like, whoa, why do you want me to preserve stuff? Are you going to hit me with a lawsuit? What's coming up next? So it's just something interesting that they're going after the 9 people on this list. Because again, some of them, in my opinion, are kind of a wild card. Like, why are you why are you really bringing them into this? Do you really think you'll gain anything from going after them, or are you just trying to be petty? I don't know. Well, that's kind of the vibe I get with some of this stuff, though. Maybe some's putting it nicely, too. Most of it, I'd probably say. But anyways, let's move on. The next segment of this video is going to be talking about the discovery process and the depositions, the interrogatories from last week, little TCPA talk. I told you all of that at the beginning of the video, though, the plan. So here's the intro. Here's the rest of it. I hope you enjoy. So if you missed the legal updates from last week, let me quickly fill you in on the latest shenanigans surrounding the depositions and discovery interrogatories. This is just my take, of course. I'm not a lawyer. Anyways, we're still awaiting transcripts of the depositions. But for now, here's what went down last week. Basically, Monica and Ron are allegedly 20 days or so late providing their answer to the interrogatories, and they refuse to hand over any information without a Rule 11 confidentiality agreement. Isn't it lovely? These people, after spouting how they want everything to be known to the public when Vic was asking for a confidentiality agreement, are now the ones begging for information not to be released. What caused such a backtrack, such a divergence from their prior confidence? Something going wrong? Something not going as planned? Starting to have, I don't know, maybe some second thoughts, some doubts about this whole thing? Anyways, Ty Beard, on the other hand, seems to have had to eventually file a motion to compel, and eventually an amended version because of the complete mess that trying to work reasonably with Monica and Ron's counsel, it was just too much to deal with, too much of a mess, wasn't going anywhere, had to file those motions. The poor guy was getting nowhere fast, trying to have a professional exchange with them, it seems. Wasn't working. Oh, and by the way, if you hear people use the term moron or moronica in this litigation, chances are they are referring to Monica and Ron. So you might know that already, but keep that in mind if not. Anyways, Ron's counsel apparently also added a third lawyer specializing in TCPA, or Texas Citizens Participation Act. The goal of the TCPA is to protect the First Amendment protections of Texas citizens, trying to basically ensure constitutional rights of the citizens to speak freely without fear of retaliation or lawsuits intended to restrict their ability to exercise their First Amendment rights. Sort of like an anti-SLAPP motion, which was created to somewhat protect individuals from frivolous lawsuits brought forward by parties or companies, etc., in order to silence people from critiquing or criticizing them. Basically, they would use their greater sum of finances to bully these parties that would criticize them and get them to be silent by just throwing lawsuit after lawsuit at them, getting them to be quiet, overwhelm them. Anyways, I'm not a lawyer, as you guys know, but it seems that the TCPA is the last thread Moronica is hanging on to, really trying to mitigate the liability that they have exposed themselves to with this whole mess that they started. And as far as I understand, the TCPA has been at the center of many Texas-based defamation suits. But you know what? Looking back on all of this, how far we've come since January and February. Kick Vic. Had I stand with Vic on the ropes for a little while there. But we've gained so much momentum and had so many amazing events over the months. Now look, see where Kick Vic is standing. Playing around, delaying depositions allegedly, and clinging on to this hope that they will succeed in dismissing the suit via TCPA. It's such a reversal. They probably thought that this would be some kind of easy duck hunt-esque case. Find a Vic and get him right there, just like that. Right out of the sky, he just keeled over and let it all happen. Literally some Matrix stuff, a false reality. Their hopes were burnt to ash. Enough about that though, let's talk depositions and details. Apparently Vic's deposition went really well. Dude nailed it. Owned the place. Ty was happy, like super happy with Vic's performance. Good stuff. One odd thing though, a good hour and a half or so spent asking Vic about Star Trek Continues, his fan series, continuation of Star Trek. People suspect this might be their attempt to later give merit to their claims that Vic is a public figure, which falls into the anti-SLAPP and TCPA stuff. Moving on. How to go for Ron? That's a loaded question right there. How did it go for Ron? You know, the dude who made 400 tweets or so, stacks of papers sent to him from Beard Harris, Bullock, Hughes.
Well, the dude somehow forgot, like, everything, it seems. Allegedly, he can't remember making any single tweet. Not one of the 400 or so that he was questioned about. Ain't that weird? It's been a rough few months here, buddy. Maybe take a breather every now and then and, take a breath when you're not waiting on Monica's every wish. There's also a weird claim leveled against Casey Eric during this deposition. Apparently, Amazon Prime whispered something to Ty. Casey Eric then told her that she needs to behave. The irony. I can't even. Casey is working for clients who claim to be so wronged by this man. But here's their attorney belittling a female attorney like that. Again, allegedly, but still, from what we've seen of Casey so far, honestly, it doesn't seem too far-fetched. Finally, we got Monica's deposition, and this was led by Amazon Prime herself. First off, it seems some are of the opinion that Monica did a better job in her deposition than Ron did. Imagine getting one-upped by Monica of all people. Then again, this is Ron we're talking about, so maybe it was his goal to try and look worse so that she looks better. Weird stuff, but who knows with them. Apparently, this is where things started to get a bit heated between Eric and Ty. Eric, trying to get the confidentiality of names, Ty and Casey went before the judge on this matter, who responded by saying that the names will be public, and if they wish to contend that, they will have to get their own counsel. If that wasn't bad enough for Team Moron, the judge also made Casey Eric authenticate Ron's tweets officially because Ron kept trying to claim that he didn't recall making any of them. Again, allegedly. That's going to be a fun one for Ron to deal with right there. Really working well, playing the cute and innocent routine, huh? Not remembering them. Totally going well. Anyways, wrapping this up. One avenue that we may see things play out is through the TCPA filing. From my understanding, my pleb understanding, discovery of the defendants would then cease until the motion is heard and determined if viable to dismiss the case or not. Hope you enjoyed this quick little roundup of the recent legal information that we have. Maybe you knew this already, in which case if you did, thanks for watching, I guess. And if you didn't, hopefully you enjoyed this. And some shout outs for the wonderful people who helped promote my last video on Twitter, that one being hilarious. KickVic member accuses Vic of misconduct, then gets exposed for misconduct themselves. Good stuff. Thank you, Random Fandom, Brandon Mayo, Shield Warrior, Nameless Person, Wander Nurse, The Burning Magician, Mr. Anime 343, Carvasu, and Paragon Langston of Amthgard, and also Rose. Thank you all very much. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.